you've made me.
What do you need me to pick up? I'll get it. I'll be back when I'm back.
No, that doesn't work either. You'll be back when you're back. That doesn't work either.
There's a lot of repulsive shitheads in the world who deserve to have bad things happen to them, but Steven Crowder has got to be near the top of the list. The two videos that came out about Father and Husband of the Year, Steven Crowder, this week. Let's start there, because the first video of him announcing his divorce on his web show or whatever was the most on cinema in real life thing I've ever seen. Did you guys watch that clip?
Since 2021, I've been living through what has increasingly been a horrendous divorce. Now, let me say on the outset, to be clear, there is no infidelity, any kind of physical abuse at all on either side. And no, this was not my choice. My then wife decided that she didn't want to be married anymore. And in the state of Texas, that is completely permitted. It's been the most heartbreaking experience of my life, what I consider to be my deepest personal failure.
As many people pointed out, I think he read somewhere in passing that you're supposed to tell your kids that it's not your fault you're getting divorced. But it's like you're supposed to tell them. You're not supposed to, like, in your public statement go, "Oh, it's not my kid's fault," because no one. It's for the kids to hear. It's not like.
Yeah, and his kids.
It's not for the world to hear. Like no one in the world was under the impression that it's like, oh, I mean, Stephen was probably the perfect husband. I don't think there was a problem with him putting on dresses or doing David Koresh mind games on his pregnant wife. It's probably the kids that did this.
No, you see, you're not understanding. In order for him to tell his kids that it's not their fault, he has to put it on the show because that's their only interaction with him.
yeah. He's the best father of all time. I mean, there's some more sordid stuff, but I like the detail that we found out that he had like there was like a surgery storyline on the Crowder program, and he made it sound like my chest is collapsing. I
think he kind of made people imply that like he had a heart disorder or something.
Yeah, it turns out it was a completely elective surgery. He probably got fucking pec implants.
Yeah.
And knowing him, he made up like the whole like this is life-threatening and getting the surgery in the first place. He probably did that because he was jealous of the twins his wife was pregnant with getting the attention in the household.
Yeah,
I have the description of it here. It says in July 2021, Crowder underwent a surgical operation in which titanium bars were inserted into his chest in order to counteract his congenital condition of pectus excavatum, sunken chest. The surgery caused fluid to accumulate in his lungs, which he called excruciatingly painful. Several weeks later, he was rushed to the hospital due to a collapsed lung. In August 2021, as Crowder was still recovering from both treatments, his wife gave birth to twins. So just like choosing to get an elective surgery, so it's timed perfectly for when your wife delivers twins.
That's when the greatest screenshot of all time. I mean, the picture of Crowder like all Bolsonaro'd up in the hospital bed, tubes coming out of him, and then it says subscribed on Spotify. I have to find that. That's got to be our episode thumbnail.
The original video announcing his divorce to his cretinous fan base was, again, like the highlight was him saying, like, look, I just want to make it clear the most important thing, my true North Star in all this horrible ordeal is that my children are totally blameless. And it was just like, I mean, Felix, you said no one would have thought to blame the kids, but they were my first culprits in why this otherwise happy marriage was ruined. And then the other really funny part about the divorce announcement video was when he was like, my wife chose to end this marriage. This was not my choice. She like, and in the state of Texas, that's still allowed. Normal world, normal state, you can just get a divorce from your partner. It's just like, is there any state in America where like, I don't know.
No fault divorce is universal now.
Well, I mean, like, I think like in his comments on this, it's clear that like, the right wing are trying to claw that back or whatever, which I think is a good idea because then we can go back to the classic era of private investigators where like you hire a guy like
creeping and peeping, taking pictures of you through the window of your motel room with your secretary while you chase her around in art boxers. and then after sex, you cool off with a big old cigar and then a giant Dagwood sandwich. And the whole time there's a skeevy private detective taking pictures with a comically giant camera. Return.
I think it's a great idea. They don't have there aren't enough things that are alienating women voters on the GOP side. There aren't enough things that will completely alienate suburban white women.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you know that husband who you barely put up with day to day, who like you have a perfectly managed cocktail of prescription drugs and boxed wine that keeps you from murdering him. Yeah, we're going to get rid of any legal possibility for you to ever leave him.
We've joked in the past on this show about the rolling pin, but holy shit, like Steven Crowder needs like the steamroller. The Supreme Wife Council needs to render a sentence of death
he needs
on Steven Crowder. After I saw that video that Yashar fucking published of this fucking asshole just lying around smoking a big old cigar, demanding that his 8 months pregnant wife with twins walk their dogs and give their dogs medicine that's toxic to pregnant women. And he was just like, put on gloves. You're not being wifely. This is about respect and discipline and being your wifely duties. And she was just like, I'm taking the car to do errands, to buy you steak and pellets for your wood burning grill. And then he's just like,
he's got a Traeger? Of course he does.
Yeah.
Fucking, of course. He's just got his giant stogie looking at his app. I'm grilling like a real man.
Least abusive Traeger owner.
Yeah.
He's demanding his wife handle like the dog chemo medicine. He probably gave the dogs cancer so he could get more attention in the household. It's a fucking 1-car household.
Yeah, that was
a 1-car household. This guy makes at least hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars a year, living in fucking Texas, in a Texas suburb with 1 car. You only do that if you want to torture your fucking wife.
Yes.
If you want to have complete control over your fucking wife, if you're that guy.
Felix, it's about respect and discipline. The discipline of being a 1-car household in Texas.
Yeah.
He was furious at his wife because she was taking the car to run errands for him before doing the other errands he had assigned her or chores he assigned her for the day. And he was getting furious at her because he was like, you're abandoning me here. You're trapping me in this house. And you're totally right, Felix. That's the only reason to have a 1-car house in a situation like that, because he wants to trap his wife there.
Yeah, it's ancillary to everything else. But I found out, so you know how the Daily Wire offered him $50 million?
Yeah.
Years? It turns out, he has 50,000 subscribers. That's close to what we have. They're playing with such inflated numbers on the conservative side.
Yeah.
But I mean, if he's being offered $50 million, over $10 million a year contract, and there's 1 fucking car, it's very obvious. I mean, there's also the wife following all these accounts on Instagram that people found that are how to survive narcissistic abuse, getting out of
Christ.
Just awful. We already knew he was a fucking awful guy, but Jesus Christ.
It was probably a hard day for her when she realized that he just married her for her wardrobe.
Yeah.
Just wanted access to all those wonderful women's clothes for him to own the libs in.
Yeah.
Did you see that guy Owen Benjamin's post about it? And I love these right wing guys. They all slit each other's throat the first fucking chance they get, because that Owen Benjamin guy he said, he's like, look, I know to my listeners and subscribers, I seem like a fairly alpha dominant personality, but I assure you, in my personal conduct, whenever I meet another male, I immediately defer to their whims and just basically roll over and display my stomach to Steven Crowder and immediately allow him to dress me up in fishnets to own trans people. And then he was like, I agreed to do this sketch with Steven Crowder because we were owning the trans people. But then I realized he was just dressing me up like a prostitute and there was really no bit or joke, but he was just oh my God.
I like that Owen Benjamin thing because it is true. He does have the phenotype of someone who's just duh, where are we going, boss?
Yeah. He's got classic minion energy. He is
when he said in that post, I'm a natural Bravo. That's up there with hot boy summer as a phrase that's going to be rattling around my head until I die.
True though. I mean, he should be wearing a turtleneck and a newsboy cap at the loading dock and going, "There's the bat."
He drains bloods out of guys. Pipe down, yous. Keep unloading this crack.
Yeah, he does. He has the look of one of the first guys you kill in Max Payne.
Yeah.
But I just love the idea that like everyone in the Crowder orbit has been force femmed by him at some point for like a humorous comedy sketch in which they're like the joke of which is that like, hey, what if I had tits and was wearing hot pants? And like the astonishing thing to me about the leaked like Yashar Ali video is that like this motherfucker talks to his wife in exactly the same way he talks to his cretinous fans on his like webcast. It's just like, I mean, I guess like, he really does live the values that he espouses of being a complete piece of shit. Because like when he's just lecturing his wife on being wifely, I was just like, wow, this dude just doesn't turn it off.
I am a little unnerved, I guess, that Yashar Ali can just get your fucking home recordings and put them on the internet.
I
seem like a good precedent.
I don't. Well, he's Varys the spider. One of his birdies got it.
his little birds are everywhere, and everyone's Ring fucking camera.
I like maybe that just like that's a part of the Ring TOS that no one read. That's on page 89. Yashar can access your Ring camera at any time.
The cherry on top of this whole Crowder affair is that like he spent years as like a young conservative pundit, and like his beat was like I'm the marriage guy. And I was reminded of this Fox News piece that he wrote back in 2015 called "Waiting Till the Wedding Night: Getting Married the Right Way." In the article, like he describes going on his honeymoon with his now ex-wife. They see a woman like at breakfast the next day who like she had just gotten married as well, but like her husband was still in the hotel room because he was a little hungover from partying the night before. And then like in the article, Crowder just talks about like, I was disgusted at this absolute boob and oaf who ruined what should have been the most special night of his life by getting drunk like it was just another party. And the whole thing is just talking about like, I got married the right way. And if you feel judged right now, good, because I am judging you. Like we waited to consummate our marriage on our wedding night, and it's just like, what a fucking psycho.
It was a beautiful moment. My wife slipping the zipper down the back of my dress.
Yeah, he says, feeling judged, I couldn't care less. You know why? Because my wife and I were judged all throughout our relationship. People laughed, scoffed, and poked fun at the young, celibate, naive Christian couple. We'd certainly never make it to the wedding without shtupping, and if we did, our wedding night would be awkward and terrible, they said. Turns out that people couldn't have been more wrong.
No one said that. No one said that to you. That's all literally in your head.
He says, looking back, I think that the women saying those things felt like the floozies they ultimately were, and the men, with their fickle manhood tied to their pathetic sexual conquests, felt threatened. I think it's important to write this column, not to gloat, though I'll be glad to, but to speak up for all the young couples, all the young cuckolds who have also done things the right way. When people do marriage right, they don't complain so much, and so their voices are silenced by the rabble of promiscuous charlatans peddling their pathetic worldview as progressive. Our wedding was perfect. Our wedding night was nothing short of amazing. Oh, Stephen, don't spare on the details, buddy. I write this on a plane headed into a tropical paradise with the most beautiful woman to have walked the planet Earth. I know everybody says that their bride was the most beautiful in the world. They're wrong. I win. So it's like his perfect wedding night and perfect honeymoon. He's writing this bullshit for Fox News during it.
That is the mark of the perfect wedding night. It just, a true culmination of love, Song of Songs type sex. When you are sending, on the night of your wedding, are sending a Google Doc to your editor at Fox News for something you're going to be paid $250 for.
Here's the thing I'm referencing. He says, where's the groom? My wife innocently, scratch that, naively asked. Oh, he's sleeping. There was just no way he was coming out with me this morning. She paused and smirked. Let's just say he's got a lingering headache from a really good time last night. My heart sank. Firstly, that poor schmuck's good time was simply getting snookered. Not enjoying the company of close family and long-lost friends with a clear head and clean conscience, not staring in awe at his beautiful new wife, wanting to soak in every He wants to soak his new wife. And every glimmer of her eyes as she shot him heart-racing looks from across the dance floor. Dude, this is gay, man. Like, no man talks about his wedding. It's perfect. This guy probably had a Pinterest board for his fucking perfect wedding night.
I'm sure it was a very BuzzFeed Benny type wedding experience.
Yeah, the Wes Anderson themed wedding.
Yeah. Do you think the hungover groom has ever made his wife handle radioactive dog pellets?
Wishing the best of luck to Crowder and his family, but particularly not his evil children who caused this awful divorce.
Yeah,
by not
what
being,
the fuck, kids?
They've not been childly. His wife is not wifely, and his child is not childly, as the Bible commands.
Yeah, we are wishing for Crowder's family that, that I guess you never have to see him again. That is what I hope for them.
Yeah,
really anybody. Is this what you think Candace Owen had on him that she was alluding to?
Oh yeah, because like I mean, I stopped watching the video after he assured everyone that his children were not at fault for his divorce, but then like most of the video is him just playing Candace Owen clips where she's like intoning darkly about Steven's got a lot of problems and he needs to focus on his own life right now. So I mean, I don't know. I think it was just like Candace maybe had access to like sort of like the Disney vault. There's the Crowder vault of all the videos of him cross-dressing and doing humorous sketches to own Joe Biden or Barack Obama that have to require him looking like a streetwalker.
Yeah, I mean, like my first assumption with all that, with what Candace Owen said, was like, it's like how you remember how that BuzzFeed guy he said to Benny Johnson, "I made out with you at the Christmas party in 2014." I thought it was something like that, obviously, but I feel like if it was like a gay thing or whatever, there would be, they couldn't hold it in that much. They would have alluded to it.
Well, I don't know.
I think it's stuff like this,
Well, yeah, like I mean, maybe we're overthinking this. Maybe it's just the existence of a video in which he screams at his 8 months pregnant wife, "I will fuck you up." Like, but immediately coming after a video where he assures everyone that there was no abuse of any kind taking place in his marriage or infidelity, if I might add.
Yeah, and also when while rallying against no fault divorce, says he doesn't want to punish his kids because he picked wrong.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, how the fuck do you think she feels when she's being doubled over with the pain of being in your third trimester, being ordered to like pick up dog shit by your husband who's lying on a fucking deck chair smoking a cigar?
Yeah, just exhausted by his 3 hours of work a week. God, what a piece of shit. There have always been like, we watch so many conservative guys. We're so familiar with so many of them. We've watch as much, if not more, of their content, consume more of it than like a lot of their fans probably. And it's like some of them along the years, you get like a grudging, like a little affinity towards them, or you think, oh, it might be fun to, hang out with Sean Hannity one time, or there's something like pathetic that I like about.
Felix, you're only saying that because you're a deluded left liberal who Sean Hannity is not threatening to. So of course you want to hang out with Sean Hannity.
That's true.
Because he conforms to like partisan narratives. So you'd have no problem throwing back a few beers at TJ McSorley's in 50th and 6th Avenue with Sean and his crew.
Yeah, get a few enough beers, he'll be saying, "I'm Sean Hannity, he, him." But Crowder is just like, I've always just found him just detestable. Like outside of politics, just as a person, wholly unlikable in every fucking way.
Completely irredeemable swine. I totally agree. We've had our faves on this show. Like, despite the evil that men do, there's some glimmer of humanity or some quirk of personality or weirdness that makes them slightly endearing. No, Crowder is human shit. He is human dog shit.
Yeah,
he is lower than like a dead rat on the street. Is his value as a human being.
He's always made my fucking skin crawl. Every iteration.
It's just like he's so essentially talentless. That's the thing. Is like his attempts to be, despite being like an evil, vile demagogue, like it's just like his attempts at being funny are so excruciating. They're worse than any of like the racist or misogynistic drivel that he parrots to his audience of knuckle dragging cretins.
Yeah, have you ever seen his stand up?
Oh God.
No.
Oh God.
It's fucking terrible. It's
and
terrible.
Like, he looks
everything he does.
I sort of got I think he did get pectoral implants or something because in that video he's looking like he looks like Hans and Franz from SNL. Like those don't look like real muscles to me. He's getting all kinds of gender affirming surgeries. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.